Welcome to Sport Intellect Podcast, and we are back again. And we are here now to discuss about the marquee event of the year. It is the T20 World Cup, guys, and we're just few days away from the Super 12 stages, and it gets underway today with the qualifiers. And I have with me Jaren and Sanjeet joining to discuss about India, the chances of India progressing into the tournament, and also we'll be covering upon the opposition who India will be taking upon through the course of the World Cup. Welcome on the show, both Sanjeet and Jaren. Firstly, I'll come to Sanjeet. Sanjeet, we know that the IPL has just gotten over. Now the players are back in the camp. And what do you reckon India's chances are going to be, and how big an effect IPL is going to be for India progressing into the tournament? Because we are getting used to the conditions as well.
Well, I think as far as I'm considered, India's always had a very good chance. Being an Indian fan, I already see them in the final. Although I'm not quite sure I'm not quite sure who they'll be playing against, because the English players are not in the best of form, as much as I've seen. Most
Right.
of the Indian players have got good practice. No matter which 15 you select, everybody else is always saying that there should have been someone else instead of somebody else.
Right.
We look a strong side. I feel India has a good headache of seeing how many batsmen they play. I think the bowling area it is at full potential, but I'm not entirely convinced on whether they will be able to perform the way we think they would. But well, that's why we're here. Let's discuss. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yes. Now coming to Jaren, one of the things which we have always discussed upon is the combination and the kind of style or template India will be playing in the T20 World Cup. Now we've seen the wickets in UAE; it's tacky in nature, but we do not know what will be the wicket they're going to provide for T20 World Cup. We just saw that for IPL. There are sources and reports which are suggesting they'll be providing fresh wickets, but still, through the course of the tournament, we can expect the wickets at UAE to be a little more tacky and on the slower side. So, are you expecting India to play in a certain template? Because there was a lot of howl and cries about a template in which India was playing prior to 2021, before the England series. I'm talking about. India is just extending the one-day version into T20 format. So, and what will be your combination as well? Because are you going to see Virat opening with Rohit, or are you going to stick with the KL Rohit opening combination?
Personally saying, I'm a big fan of Kohli and Virat opening. You have that mantra where you give your best players the most ball to face, and who are better batsmen in the Indian team than Kohli and Rohit. So that is my go-to, but it will be really, it will not be at all just if we not give KL Rahul an opening spot. He's performed that well in the IPL. He's performed better than Kohli and Rohit, to be fair, and in the same wickets that might be provided as well. Coming to the template, I think India will probably look to go with the template that they did in the England series. Especially the first 6 overs, if both the opening batsmen can really go attacking, it can really set the stage. And obviously, with some of the likes of someone like Ishan Kishan being also there, that could be a go-to. Like you just give Ishan Kishan the freedom to go ahead and get some boundaries early on and do well. So let's see how it goes. But I think for me, the template that India showed in the England series is definitely the go-to.
Right. Now coming to warm-up matches, India start off their warm-up matches from tomorrow. And I'll come to Sanjeet first up, asking what do you expect out of these warm-up matches? Because we usually see these warm-up matches are a place where players try out things, try out combinations. Having said the last T20I match was back in March,
Right.
what will be India looking out from these warm-up matches?
Yeah.
Because it's just 2 matches left before we take on Pakistan on 24th.
Right. I feel the first warm-up match India has, I guess, is tomorrow versus
Yes.
England.
Yes.
So England. I feel England was not as big a challenge, and I feel that's where we should be trying out who opens and who doesn't. Like what Jaren said, we have an opening problem. Rohit Sharma needs a little while to get his engine going. Virat Kohli is actually very fast when he opens, but after the power play, he tends to really slow down.
Right.
Lokesh Rahul, on the contrary, over the last 4 years, has been the best T20 player, but yet finds himself in and out.
Right.
Ishan Kishan has immense potential, but that's just to go to see. I feel Ishan Kishan is going to play the next 2 games against Australia and England as an opener, because of course he said in the IPL that Virat Kohli said to him that he's been selected as an opener. And I feel he has a high chance because Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul and Virat Kohli, all three, they slightly struggle against the ball swinging. And the English players are used to, they are known to get the ball swinging early round. And Ishan Kishan, I feel, doesn't quite have that problem. On the other hand, he's the only left-hander we have in the top 4 or 5. And Virat Kohli is known who could quite step in those shoes. England is not going to be a challenge as such. It's just going to be more with the batting, because the bowling in those terms is pretty sorted. The next, I assume, is Australia.
Yeah.
That again, I feel batting needs to be. I think the warm-up game is only going to be used to check how we are going to bat and what's the right fit, and we are able to accelerate. And mostly for the pitches, the bowling is probably suitable for our conditions, as far as I'm concerned.
Jared, now to you. Your team has gone on to win the IPL, so you might be in the ecstatic mode, which I expect you to be. But the talisman for CSK, I would say, has been Lord Shardul Thakur. What a player he has been. He's been in that really, really good purple patch since the England series, since Australia, I would say. I remember back in that England series in March, he used to come and pick up those 2 wickets and change the game. That's exactly what he has done yet again. So, do you expect him to start maybe ahead of someone like Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, considering his form, considering he adds that batting depth? And my another question is the Hardik Pandya. If he is not going to bowl, do you give him a chance in the playing 11? So, Jen, I'm going to put you in the spotlight, and after that, I'll come to Sanjeev with the same question.
So my take on Shardul Thakur is, obviously he's been exceptional. He's Lord Shardul, can do nothing wrong. He always comes up, and the moment he starts bowling, you always expect miracles to happen for whichever side he plays. And thankfully, he played for CSK in the finals. So there was a great play by him, by Dhoni, to bring him on, and that really changed the game. And all of a sudden, KKR on the back foot. And I think from what Shardul has evolved, especially since the 2018 IPL final, where he couldn't get the winning runs for CSK, he really put effort into his batting. And I think that's what he'll be playing. That's the role he'll be playing. In fact, I think the kind of role he'll be playing is kind of the reversal of what Hardik Pandya would have played if he could bowl. Would he be more with the ball and a little bit with the bat? So he could be a seaming all-rounder. So I think Hardik is definitely not in the kind of burden that he's facing. I think he's going to give it a little rest. He might not bowl. We will have to see in the warm-up matches. If he's going to play in the T20 World Cup, the kind of role he'll play, that will be definitely on a show during the warm-up matches, as Sanjeev said. But for me, I think Shardul Thakur is definitely the one who's going to fit in ahead of both Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Hardik Pandya in terms of form and in terms of the role that he's played for his team. He seems to be someone who's played enough matches compared to Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Hardik Pandya.
Right, now coming to Sanjeev, the same question, do you see yourself putting Shardul Thakur ahead of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, or do you replace Hardik Pandya with someone else, maybe an extra batter? But if you're doing that, we are anyways going with 5 bowling options, and how big a threat that's going to be, because in T20 cricket, you need that extra cushion of a 6th bowler, isn't it?
If I'm selecting the playing 11, Shardul Thakur is probably my pick number 3, without question. Although Virat Kohli loves Hardik Pandya, he's shown that over the years. Yeah. And the reason Hardik Pandya didn't bowl in the IPL, as per whatever was told, was because he was supposed to bowl in the T20 World Cup, and they didn't want to risk his ankle anymore. So I assume he will be bowling, maybe not his 4 over quarter, maybe an over or 2. On the other hand, obviously Jadeja playing. So in terms of bowling, I feel Shami and Bumrah are an obvious choice.
Right.
Jadeja can bowl. So assuming Hardik Pandya bowls, then I think we can take Shardul Thakur, because I don't see Ashwin playing, to be honest.
Right.
Even in terms of spin, I guess Varun Chakravarti and Rahul Chahar, only one of them plays.
Right.
And our batting is a very heavily dependent on 1, 2, 3 again. All right. Yeah. Assuming Surya Kumar plays. Yeah. So it is again 1, 2, 3. Rishabh Pant has always been hot and cold. Hardik Pandya not in the best of batting form. So I feel having Shardul Thakur there will make a difference, because he has that ability. He can even go in, he can play a few balls. So I would love to have him in the team. But I also see Hardik Pandya playing, to be honest. Okay. I don't see why he wouldn't play. Although if I would have been in the helm of the reins, then I probably would have seen whether he's doing well in the warm-up matches. But irrespective of that result, I see him playing at number 6.
Right. Well, that's a good point which you have made, because Hardik Pandya has done it before. It's not that he's just going through a bad phase, I would say, because in the last 2 T20 series, he was man of the series once in Australia, and he did quite well against England back in India. So I think Hardik will be given that chance, and if he bowls, it's definitely a great benefit for India. But now, having said that, now let's come to the most talked about point when this World Cup squad was out. It was the spinners conundrum. We saw the premier leg spinner Yuzi Chahal being left out. Though he had a magnificent IPL post that, maybe he had a point to prove towards selectors. And we saw Rahul Chahar being selected because he can ball with an extra pace. That's what was the reasoning given for his selection. And we also saw Varun Chakrabarti, who had just played a couple of T20I internationals, make it to the World Cup squad. So, what do you reckon about this? And firstly, I come to Sanjeet on this. Do you really see Rahul Chahar making the cut in the playing 11, considering he was not even considered by MI towards the last few games?
I definitely don't see maybe an Ashwin playing. So my next option is probably Varun Chakravarti. He's even bowled very well in the UAE.
Yeah.
But again, fitness has been an issue. So for me, Varun Chakravarti walks in straight in the spin
Yeah.
department.
Yeah.
Unless fitness plays spoils sport, then I think Rahul Chahar is an obvious second choice. Rahul
Right.
Chahar hasn't had an amazing IPL this year, but maybe that was also because Rahul Chahar is usually supported by Krunal Pandya, who kind of holds the runs. Rahul Chahar has always been someone who gives run the first couple of overs, gives 20-22, but eventually pulls it back with a wicket or two. This year, even Krunal Pandya wasn't bowling quite well. He was going for runs, and Chahar didn't have the support which he usually has. So I feel if the other bowlers can hold runs, then I feel Rahul Chahar is an amazing bowler. He should be able to come in. Of course, Varun Chakravarti still remains to be my number one choice.
Jared, coming to you, Sanjeet stated that he doesn't put Ashwin in his starting 11, but now you've selected him out of nowhere after 4 years. What is the reasoning behind this, you think? And yesterday, Virat Kohli gave one of the reasons was he's more courageous now compared to what he was before. And do you see him at some point of stage in the starting 11? Or do you see him open the bowling as well? Because, we have seen Washington Sundar do that job for India previously in T20 International. So are you fitting Ashwin like a Washington Sundar kind of role if he's playing? Or is he going to be a bench warmer? We just selected him for the sake of selecting him because there's no other off spinner in the country who's as good as him.
For me, I think the first point is there is definitely no coincidence in the fact that the moment MS Dhoni walked into the change room, Ashwin has also followed suit. And that is definitely there. We've seen Ashwin's best years under MS Dhoni. The moment he's left CSK, he's become a little jaded in terms of white ball off spinner for India, and that has affected his performance as well. So I think he needs someone like Dhoni to just tell him to keep it simple. That has been his issue. He overthought a lot, and he has a lot of variations, but he just does not ball the right one at the right time. He's not able to make it surprising for the batsman to see carom balls suddenly being thrown in there. Aside from that, I think he's tried too much. If he just goes simply, he might. But again, the warm-up games are very important, because of the fact that India has so many options. We will get to see in the warm-up games what the management is thinking. Aside from that, for me, I completely agree with Sanjeev. Seeing that Ravindra Jadeja just simply walks in to the top 11, he's been the best for CSK, and he's done really well in terms of overall as well. So he definitely walks in with his batting and bowling. So obviously, the next question is one spinner or two spinners, and I see in that one spinner walking the response to Varun Chakravarti. But talking about Rahul Chahar as well from our earlier discussion, I think he can bowl really well. He has that. He's just having a poor run of form, and someone like Ravindra Jadeja, if he balls well, you might see Rahul Chahar come in. But aside from that, for me, my two picks will be Varun Chakravarti and Ravindra Jadeja. Ashwin might be a bench warmer until or unless something comes up from the management, specifically Dhoni.
Now, coming to the most important part, who do you think are India's biggest challenge? Is it Pakistan or is it New Zealand? And another thing is pick your starting 11. No, I would start with Sanjeet first. So you can go and pick your starting 11, then give India who's going to be India's biggest challenge.
Rohit Sharma is obviously Rohit Sharma walks in. I'm just confused whether I should let Ishan Kishan open with him or Virat Kohli. But I assume
Maybe you can put Virat at
Kohli.
3. I reckon Virat is going to play at 3, isn't it? Because considering the team dynamics, I see Virat at 3 and Surya at 4, which also gives depth in the batting. And maybe KL might open because he's been in terrific form.
He has, and it would be really unfair on KL Rahul. To be honest, among the 4 names you just took, Rohit Sharma has been most inconsistent and the least performing. But what's funny is he's the number 1 name that comes on top. He's the mainstay, and the 3 have to fight between themselves and Ishan Kishan.
Right.
Although I don't see Ishan Kishan playing, so I think it's safe to say that Rahul and Rohit will open.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even mind Kohli and Rohit opening. If Kohli and Rohit open, then KL automatically gets pushed to
5.
because I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, because I see number 3 going to Surya Kumar Yadav because he really has that pace in him.
Yeah.
Of course, he's not had a great IPL,
Right.
but except the 5 or 6 matches this leg, he has played against spin. I should say that he's probably only Indian batsman that has no bowler as a weakness. I
Oh,
feel he
yeah.
can play any bowler however he wants. He has done that. I
Yeah.
think 3 is great for him. Number 4 will pushing him down a bit much because then
Right.
he only gets to play spinners in the middle and directly has to play fast bowlers at the death.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would put him there. But I think what it will be is Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Kohli at 3, Surya at 4, Rishabh at 5, 6 Pandya, 7 Jadeja. If that's how it is, then 10 and 11 are obviously Bumrah and Shami. So
Yeah.
8 and 9, I feel maybe Shardul and Varun Chakravarti. Or
Yeah.
if they want to have a pure bowler, I actually find Shardul Thakur as a better wicket taking option than Bhuvneshwar. But if the ball is doing something, if there is something, then probably Bhuvneshwar walks in with Varun Chakravarti. Or
Right.
else it could be Shardul Thakur and Varun Chakravarti. I will go with Shardul because I do not trust Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant's batting that much. Those 3 batsmen together, Thakur, Pant, and Pandya, for me at the moment are like 2 batsmen. They are my 5 and 6.
So yeah, you're expecting 20 to 30 runs being given from them at a strike rate of 130 odd or 140 odd. That's decent in 2020 cricket, isn't it?
I guess so. I don't even think they're going to get much to bat, to be honest. Given the one of the top 4 bat, I don't
Yeah.
think they'll have much of a role to play. The
Right.
only role come in the last 4 or 5 overs. And if
Yeah.
Lokesh Rahul or Rohit Sharma or Kohli or Surya, these guys are known, once they get starts, they take it till the end. So even if
Right.
one of the 4 guys are able to take it till the end, they would not have to do what is usually expected of them. Although I fear, you talked about their biggest challenge. I feel over New Zealand or Bangladesh, or New Zealand, sorry, or Pakistan, I feel Afghanistan is going to be a bigger challenge because
Oh
all
yeah.
4 struggle except Surya Kumar. I feel all 4, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are known to get out to balls that aren't even that great.
Yeah.
Virat Kohli was greatest batsman. You see Moeen Ali having his number on him. So
Yeah.
that is a problem. Lokesh Rahul sometimes just tries to get little creative and usually gives his wicket off.
Yeah.
Surya Kumar, I feel, might play sensibly, but when he loses wickets at the other end, he also kind of, he tries to lose his cool. I
Yeah.
think Afghanistan is going to be a big challenge. That is where maybe Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya would have to up their game because they whack spinners crazy. So
So
that
I
is where
think
I
that's a
think
big,
our
big
part is going to be
point.
huge. Yeah, I feel India Afghanistan is going to be very interesting. Maybe low scoring. I see India
Yeah.
winning definitely, but I feel that's going to be slightly more exciting than what everybody thinks it's going to be.
And they're going to be playing in a bigger ground in Abu Dhabi as well against Afghanistan. That's the
Yeah.
only game they're going to be playing away from Dubai. So that's going to be an interesting point. Jaren, Sanjeet had given a standard playing 11, which is a safer playing 11, and looks like the higher chance of that being the first starting 11 against Pakistan. And tomorrow you will get a better idea as to what will be the starting 11 because India having only 2 games, India will just play their primary 11 tomorrow. And I reckon you can bring in extra players as well, considering it's a warm-up game. You can try out all the 15 players. So, Jaren, what do you reckon will be India's safer bet moving into that first game against Pakistan?
I totally agree with Sanjeev's plan. Obviously, I would have preferred Kohli and Rohit to open, but they both have had indifferent IPLs. They've not performed as well, and we cannot definitely ignore the fact that KL Rahul's missed orange cap by just a bit, and the other the other top orange cap players are not in the squad. So, considering that KL Rahul is my top pick, and we cannot fit him anywhere but the opener's position, that automatically makes me recline towards Sanjeev said. Aside from that, I think playing Shardul and Hardik is a very good bet because if Hardik feels that he is not able to get into the bowling flow straight away, then Shardul Thakur can be used, or vice versa. So if Shardul Thakur is going for runs, then Hardik Pandya can be used to fit in. And either way, they are can be fail safe for each other's batting. So I think this is my safe bet. I might see maybe in the warm up games you might see Rahul Chahar and Varun Chakravarti being played here and there. Like maybe they might be flipped for.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I think this is what the lineup is for me as well. Obviously, nothing much better than Shami and Bumrah coming. So they are fixed. So aside from that, yeah, this is my playing 11 as well.
Yeah, that's good. And finally, final question is, how big a role is MSD going to play in this T20 World Cup? Because many people brought in different suggestions. MSD was brought in for a reason. India is really searching for the ICC trophy for the last 8 years, so that's one of the reasons to bring in MSD. But we have to really point out and say how big an impact MSD is going to bring in, because he just won an IPL. He's walking in. Every player is going to be in awe of him, because Rishabh is not in best of form, but with MS around, his sleeping is going to go up. He's going to be definitely more confident. Ishan is going to feel much more better. They all look up to MS, isn't it? And you're going to see spinners like the likes of Varun, Rahul Chahar. He is spinner's captain, isn't it? When the ball is doing a little bit, when you have MS Dhoni behind the wicket, any spinner is confident in bowling. And so how big an impact it's going to be? I'll start with Jaren and I'll come to Sanjeev.
Massive impact. I think you've already seen the changes in the squad itself. The squad looks very different from what was being considered before. Obviously, the IPL has impacted it. But MS Dhoni coming in after winning the IPL is going to be great, because all these players have played against him. They have seen him perform well in the captaincy cap. But it will be interesting to see how good he is as a mentor, as a captain. He's not going to be on the pitch. He's not going to be giving those quirky Hindi commentary from behind the stumps. It's going to be Rishabh Pant, who is trying to do that. He's emulated that in the IPL. But aside from that, I think he's going to bring a lot of confidence. And that is what the Indian team needs as of now. Because I think the difference between Indian team, the potential of Indian team and getting the silverware is MS Dhoni. And I think him being in the dressing room will definitely show a different Indian team altogether.
Sanjeev, I'll put the same question to you as well. MSD factor for India in this World Cup.
As a Mumbai fan, firstly, I would like to say I'm triggered, because I will say Rohit Sharma being there in the team, how can he say MS Dhoni is the key for everything? But I do agree to it. Yeah. In fact, I do see some unusual things coming up. If I see Rahul Chahar and Chakravarti both playing and Hardik Pandya sitting, I will not be surprised. I even see it working to a certain extent.
Right.
Because he just has that something in him, MS Dhoni. Yeah. He's not a man of many words, but he'll just go and he'll say something to the bowler, and maybe I think it's very huge for even Virat Kohli. He's always charged up and he always wants to just get it in. Yeah. And like MS Dhoni, I feel can slightly just push Virat Kohli back and just let him be.
Right.
So I feel it'll be great for Virat Kohli. It'll help Kohli manage the players on field much better.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it'll also be great for all the players. Slightly overwhelming for everybody. Many of them are new in the team. To have MS Dhoni around, maybe even Lokesh Rahul, everybody's going to be very relaxed. And I do actually see a few changes coming up, something quirky or something that not everyone expects. And I'm afraid to say I will see it will work. I think this is the best chance India's got. They have a dream team. They have a dream mentor. They have a dream coaching staff. They have everything. Except the captain, I guess everybody in the team won an IPL or some kind of trophy of some sort.
Right, absolutely.
So yeah. I feel this is the time for Kohli. This is what he has. His vice captain
has last dance, isn't it?
His vice captain has 5 IPLs and 2 Champions Leagues. His mentor has 4 IPLs and 2 Champions Leagues. Now's the time he has to get the T20 World Cup.
This is the last hurrah for the coaching staff as well. Ravi Shastri is moving on, and we are hearing news that Rahul Dravid, everyone's dream coach, is finally there. It's like, in football, they say they want Xavi to coach Barcelona. It's like the same thing, isn't it? Rahul Dravid coaching India. He has been the coach of junior team for a long time. And I see it working, though. I see it working until 2023 World Cup. I think it'll be the Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid think tank for the 2022 T20 World Cup and 23, probably for the ODI World Cup. I'm not making any calls that Virat Kohli is stepping down from one-day captaincy, but it is highly likely, though, post this World Cup, if we don't get the success. So thank you guys for joining. It's been a pleasure talking to you both. Definitely, I'm sure that many of the guys are going to enjoy watching this. They're definitely going to get a lot of insights. And we will join you before the first match, which is on 24th. We'll join you on 23rd with our final take on the 11, because we'll have a better idea towards then as to what will be the 11. So with that said, have a safe day, enjoy yourself, and enjoy watching the World Cup. And I'm making some bold predictions. I'm saying Scotland and Papua New Guinea might make it to the Super 12. All right, guys. Yeah, maybe.
Afghanistan maybe in the semi-final.
Yeah,
It's
Afghanistan. Yeah,
definitely a place they can
my
get
top
to.
two from Group B is going to be Afghanistan and India. And what about your top two? Let's make that now before we end it up.
All right. I would say Afghanistan will go have a dream run because they will be charged up. They have a lot of questions on their cricketing future as well. But for me, New Zealand and India look the most settled team. Obviously, New Zealand might have a few challenges with the kind of pitches that might be offered, but New Zealand's shown the world that they can go to. And I really feel for New Zealand. I want New Zealand to go through and get a silver medal, aside from India, though.
Oh,
So for me, New Zealand and
they
India.
already got one, bro. I think they need to know they can take a side.
I'm talking about the white ball, obviously.
Yeah.
But that could
So
be the start of the
Sanjeet,
dream run.
I'll come to you. Top two from each group.
India, obviously. I feel, I don't know, this is a very tricky question because the teams that want to be on top, I don't think they will be. I say this, I think in India's group, India and New Zealand should be there. If it's not, then only because they've played really horribly, because this is the time. No matter what Babar Azam said in the interview that it's winning or whatever, but I don't really think that they quite match up to India. I think India and New Zealand should be there. The other group, I would say Australia is definitely going to make it. They have a good team. Few of the players that didn't form, and a couple of players have been denied chances that they really deserve. So I think they have a lot of fire in them. I think David Warner is going to set the T20 World Cup on fire. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I'm seeing going to see a couple of innings where he's really bashing maybe our bowlers out. You never know. And the other team, I don't see England coming in, but I don't know. Maybe South Africa would surprise us. You just, I mean, they don't have that team because some of the
Norke and
players
Rabada.
that I assume, Rabada, I know.
A quick point there.
Yeah.
India, I mean, Pakistan is technically hosting India because UAE has been the ground for a long time.
That's why you saw that in the jersey as well. I mean, no disrespect, but that's something which they've sent messages. But I really don't see. We'll discuss about Pakistan in our next show, but I fancy Afghanistan and India from Group B because that spin bowling attack which Afghanistan has with Qais Ahmed, Zahir Khan, Rashid Khan, Mujib, and Nabi, serious team, man. And with their batting explosives, I see India's biggest threat. Afghanistan, as
to be honest,
mentioned out.
I would love to see India and Afghanistan going. But I think when an off spinner comes to bowl, no matter if he's got KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma and Suryakumar out thrice in 3 balls, they see the ball from the hand, they're going to go out and bang that shit. I'm pretty sure. So either Afghanistan really gets us, or else we are going to slam them for 220. It's going to be one of the two. I don't know. Really. So India is going to be, because Afghanistan is going to trouble New Zealand a fair amount.
Yeah.
Except Kane Williamson, I don't quite see anybody really having control of that game. I feel Afghanistan has a good chance. They should use it. They've got a good group. We talk about England, India having an easy group, but then Afghanistan is a chance for Afghanistan to, if they make it to the semis, they'll be great. And to be honest, New Zealand has had their share of the T20 World Cups for the next 20 years. I don't think I see myself saying they deserve one win. That's it. They defeated us in the Test Championship, and that's it. Not for the next 20 years. Not for me.
All right. It's always great to have you all in the show. It's definitely behind the scenes which we are giving. We already ended the show, I think. But yeah, the discussion just went on. So as I already mentioned, we'll catch you all up on 23rd. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.